Hello, my name is Kristen Wise. I am a 2024 MSW graduate, and I am a 2024 AOSW new member. I thought I'd take a few moments to share with you about my social work journey to date. When I was first contemplating going back to school for a graduate degree, I met a student in their last semester, and she passed on the wisdom that had been imparted to her. It takes a village to make a social work graduate student. And I have found this to be incredibly true. In the fall of 2023, as I was entering my second year practicum, I met Linda Matthew at MSK, and Linda opened the first door. She invited me to attend the SPEC conference in New York City, and when I arrived, I had the good fortune of sitting next to Leora Lowenthal. And across the arc of the 8-hour conference, Leora and I got to know one another, and at the end of the day, she handed me her business card, encouraged me to stay in touch, and told me something I'll never forget. I'm on your team. And I felt this deeply, and I knew she meant it. So in March of 2024, just a few months later, I reached back out to Leora. I asked if she had some time for me, and she generously accepted. And that was a conversation that radically shifted everything for me. She fully witnessed me. She invited me to show up as my whole self. She generously shared her own journey. And she spoke a lot about the importance of clarity around what is the motivation as we pursue this work. And when we're ending our call, she told me, "You'll find your people at AOSW." And she was right. A few months later, I learned that I was the recipient of the Beijing Scholarship, and I was invited to attend the 40th anniversary conference. I had the privilege of attending the 3-day conference, nearly every session I possibly could, and I just found myself in awe of everyone that was in the room. I found myself in awe of the village. And at the end of that conference, I knew more than ever before that I was on my way, that this was my path, and that this was the village that I was seeking. And then a few weeks went by, and when you're a recent graduate, there's a lot of feelings involved. And for me, some uncertainty. And so rather than feel that way alone, I reached out to Michael Grignon, who I'd also met at the conference. And he suggested we get on a Zoom together. And when I arrived, I thought we would just have more of a practical conversation, but I felt incredibly safe. And that conversation transpired into something deeply profound. I found myself sharing about my fears, my uncertainties, the bigger questions and the pressures I was noticing as a recent graduate. And he normalized everything. He fully listened to me and talked about how I could meet this moment. And it was a recalibration. I felt freed up. And when I left that call with him, that Zoom session, he said something I'll never forget. He told me, "Life is not a straight line." And I knew that was true. A few weeks later, in my meandering way, I found myself to Michelle Ferretti, also from AOSW, someone who I'd met in the SIG. And Michelle, she reaffirmed that nonlinear path. She talked about her own journey in social work, and she imparted these two beautiful pieces of wisdom. She said, "Embrace the not knowing and always keep the door open." And the universe reaffirmed that when a few weeks later, Michael suggested that I connect with another AOSW member, Amy DePaolo. And I found myself sitting in Amy's office, and that in-person connection was just so striking. Amy really embodied the power of what she was imparting to me, which is the power of relationality. She encouraged me to always make time for people. That is the heartbeat of social work. And she said something else which I took with me. She talked about the importance of social workers knowing our value and knowing the impact that we are making. And all combined, these collective conversations, they really buoyed me. And a few weeks later, I found myself relocating to a new city and starting a first position after graduation at Dana-Farber. And what I can cite back is the support, the village of AOSW really propelled me to that moment. And so I must give credit where credit's due. I fully believe in this organization. I fully believe in the power of the membership, all of the possibilities of what the membership beholds. And I find myself both inspired and aspiring. And so what I would say to anyone, wherever you are on your social work journey, if you are considering some peer support, if you are seeking out a more formal mentorship, or if you're really yearning for a community of practice, AOSW is the place that can offer all of this. And so I say thank you, AOSW. It is truly a gift and an honor. I look forward to continuing to collaborate and to continuing to contribute. And I just express my deepest gratitude for this village. Thank you.